Here is a video on my travels in the UK. My boyfriend and I got to go to London and Brighton, and if you haven't seen my video on Paris, you can watch it here. First of all, I just want to say how excited I was to go to the United Kingdom. I could not go to Europe without going to the United Kingdom. I've always wanted to go. I have a thing for British accents. I just had to go. I love London, everything, the media from United Kingdom, yeah. We had a train booked with Eurostar, so we went to the Gare du Nord train station in Paris. And I made sure we were extra early. There's our train. We luckily found something vegan in the train station because we needed food. The train ride from Paris to London was about 2 hours, I think. And this is not sped up. It went so fast that I was having a headache just looking out the window, which is amazing. I love high-speed rail. Oh, and then we got to go through the tunnel, which I was really excited about. I didn't know it was underground for some reason. I thought it literally went through the water. No, and then here's us arriving in London, and here's us, and then we took another train that I booked to go to Brighton, which is where we were going first. Here's us arriving in Brighton with our luggage. And once we originally arrived in England, I had this weird culture shock where everything was in English again because I was so used to everything being in French. And then also everyone's British accents, I was low-key essentially fangirling over. However, some British accents I also found funny. I don't know why. We were hungry, so we stopped at the Burger Co. Brighton is known for having loads of vegan options and vegan restaurants, and this food was pretty decently priced. And then I had the vegan honey chicken sandwich. It was good. Then we went to the beach. It was very beautiful. Brighton is known for having these rocky beaches. We watched the sunset, and then we got some food. A lot of the food in the UK is really cheap. And then we went to our Esperanto host place. The next day we went to the famous Brighton Pier. It was pretty cool. It was closed at the time, but we found a vegan ice cream shop that's usually there. Then there was so many vegan restaurants to choose from, but we just happened to stumble upon What the Pita, so we went there and split this essentially a burrito. After doing the Starbucks campaign in America for them to drop the surcharge on non-dairy milk, it was very surreal to go into Pret A Manger and there be no surcharge on plant milk. Through being in Brighton, I found out I love seagulls. Brighton had all kinds of shops, so we just walked around and found this queer leftist bookshop that gives vegan food to those in need, and clothing. There were some pretty cool books there, and they also had a pay-as-you-feel vegan cafe. I have not found it in America, but of course in the UK I found the vegan Kit Kat bar, so we had to try it. It was pretty good. We went to this cool park and kind of just hung out there. We went to a thrift shop, and this is just some of the shirts I found to be funny. I was so excited to see these telephone booths in person. And then I got to do something I've wanted to do for years, which is get a vegan sausage roll from Greg's, and it was really cheap and pretty decent. We went to the Brighton Mall. As an American vegan, this was also very surreal. McDonald's has an entire vegan menu. In America, I swear they only have this apple thing and black coffee that's vegan. I do not remember if I mentioned this in my Paris video, but the EU has an animal testing ban, which is phenomenal, and another thing America is not even close to. But it has loopholes, so you still need to check if things are actually cruelty free or not. But it's still I swear most things. In the UK, Brexit happened, so that doesn't really apply to them, but they still had many cruelty free vegan things. And then also in Paris, a lot of stuff was labeled vegan, and then you just research to make sure it's cruelty free. Anyway, just a culture shock in the best way imaginable as an American vegan. While we were in Brighton, we had to get some vegan fish and chips, and then I discovered that seagulls can sound like both babies and cats meowing. I did not know this. I find seagulls to be very cute though. We hung out on the beach again, and then I found this vegan sushi that's much cheaper than the Carnist one, so that was cool. Found this random candy that said vegan. And side note, not having to worry about sugar, like usually being processed through animal bone char, was definitely another really good culture shock as an American vegan, because sugar is put in like literally everything in America, and I always avoid it now unless it says organic, which means it's like vegan. And also vegan certifications include the sugar thing, by the way. For fun, here's my steps of the day, and then we woke up the next morning and walked because this is a pretty walkable city, which was great. And we went to Parisa, which was this really good vegan Italian place. Then we went to the Upside Down house. It was a pretty good cost, and luckily there was not many people there when we went. Here's some wind turbines I could see in the water. The Upside Down house was pretty trippy and funny. Here's me being Spider-Man. Another British dream of mine was to ride a double-decker bus, so we got to ride a double-decker bus. We got a pretty cheap daily bus pass, and we drove it into the suburbs so that we could find this really cool trail and just like see the nature in the area. Oh hey, a video of one of my worst UK culture shocks, which was that people drive on the left side of the road. There was nice weather though, and the walk was very beautiful. Rib. Here's a vegan shop we found, which was cool, but it was closed and then we couldn't get to it the next day. Rip. Of course I had to try a vegan Krispy Kreme, and it was pretty good. UK vegans literally have it the best. Then we went to this vegan bar and we got this really strange looking food that was interesting, and I really liked the writing in the bathroom, so here's pictures of it. And I also liked this graffiti. After a bit, we walked back for the night. I just really liked this shot I got. Here's basically the cons of our stay in Brighton. My boyfriend lost his debit card, but then I just started using my card, and you know, he'll pay me back later. We always owe each other money. And in the future, he got his backup credit card working as well. And then our room had problems, but the host was vegan and left-wing, and they seemed nice, so no hate towards them. The next morning we packed everything and we got on a train going back into London. We walked and got some food at this vegan place, and then I saw the like meat food market that I remember from Animal Rebellion, now Animal Rising's action in 2019 that I was like watching so closely, but anyway. And then we didn't even plan this, but we just happened to be in London during the King's coronation, which I'm actually against because I'm against the monarchy, but anyway, so I kind of didn't care. We were just walking everywhere with our luggage because we weren't going to get a daily train pass because it was too expensive. And so the trains in London were just too expensive. So we ended up walking like 44 minutes to go to a park by Buckingham Palace. But then it required tickets. It also said no luggage allowed. So then we just walked and luckily found a park where we could just chill. And we literally just chilled there because like walking around with a bunch of luggage is not fun. It's very like hard. We walked around with our luggage some more and then got some food, and we were pretty frustrated. So then we took the train to the hotel, which cost £7 for some reason, which I guess is because UK's trains are privatized unlike the rest of Europe. But I got to get Skittles because they're vegan certified in the UK. I assume it's not processed through, sugar's not processed through Bonchar. The next morning was King Charles' coronation, which I did not care for. Also, here is them abusing horses. We went out for the day and got this sushi from this place that had like half vegan sushi, and it was really well priced. Then we went to the British Museum, which was free, and it had like so many amazing things. It just seemed to go on forever. We were there for hours. It was really crowded also, probably with people from the coronation, but it was such a cool museum. I wish I could have seen everything. Starburst used to be one of my favorite candies, but it sadly contains gelatin in America, but not in the UK. So I got to eat Starburst again. And then we got some food from this place called Vito Mito. And then here's pictures from this cool bookstore we went to. And this is basically the London version of Times Square. Garnier had a huge ad up about how they're cruelty free, which I really liked. Then I think this was a street that the coronation happened on, and they were taking it down. I forgot what this building is. Then we got to see the star of the show, Big Ben, which technically is the name of the bell, so technically the Elizabeth Tower. But I've wanted to see Big Ben for so long. It's been on my bucket list for a long time, so it really meant a lot to me that I finally got to see Big Ben. I was just filming this because England seemed to have the most annoying emergency vehicle sound. They had the building and the Elizabeth Tower lit up for the coronation. And then here's me and my love, and then we went to, I don't know, I think that's the London Eye, and then we just hung out on this bench with the views. Here's a double-decker bus. I really liked this shot I got. Then we went shopping for some food, and then we took trains back, but it ended up taking forever, and I was on my period, so I had to wait forever to change my product because at night trains show up less, so we were like stuck at this train station for like 20 minutes or so, and there was no bathroom, so you know. At that one store though, I finally got the pig gummies I have been looking for since Paris, and then we also had this. All day I had like a very slight sore throat, but when I woke up in the early AMs the next day, I was definitely very sick. My sore throat was killing me. I had body aches, fever, chills, all the horrible stuff that comes with being sick. But I took a fever pill, so then it was just like more minor symptoms. You know, my pain was much lessened. So I really wanted to go to London. I didn't want to like miss one of my only days. So I was gonna go anyway, so we go to the train station, and for some reason there's like no trains running like all day. So we obviously need food, and it turns out that the nearest like grocery store is like 2 miles away. Even though it was hot and my sickness eventually did start to get worse, I for some reason went with my boyfriend, and we eventually got there and got food, and luckily there was actually a bus that could take me back. We didn't take the bus there because it had just left, so it would like take longer to take the bus to get food. The walk there really reminded me of America's car dependency. The sidewalk just ends right here. I know British people like to make fun of America and act like they're so much better, but in terms of car dependency and how frustrating the training situation was in the UK, they're not on the same level as the rest of Europe. I was feeling like absolute shit, but luckily the bus only cost £2 and it took me back to the hotel. Here's some of the food we got at Tesco. Hell yeah, finally got to have crumpets. Here's me lying sick at the hotel room for the rest of the day. The next morning we checked out of our hotel and then trained into London. I was feeling a little better, like okay enough to function, but we had another day of carrying our luggage all around London with us, walking. So Burger King in London had an entire plant-based menu, so we tried the vegan royale, which I've always wanted to try, and then we just did something that was really important to me, which was walking around and just looking at all the skyscrapers that I have like wanted to see for so long. I have a thing about skyscrapers, so I really wanted to go to London and see all these famous skyscrapers, so it meant a lot to me. Then we walked with our luggage for about 50 minutes with some stops along the way. I think this is the St. Paul's Cathedral. Here's the Shard skyscraper from far away. I didn't get to go. But anyway, we were walking 50 minutes to go to King's Cross Station because as a Harry Potter fan, I could not see 9 3/4. Of course, there was a line of people trying to take their picture with it, so I just did this far away one because I was low on time, but I got Buckbeak at the Harry Potter store, and then we went to this awesome vegan restaurant, Mildred's. Then we walked even farther with our luggage to go to this train station where we had a bunch of trains set up to get to a port where we would then take an overnight ferry to the Netherlands. We took 3 trains and 1 rail replacement bus, and I have no idea why, but all of this cost $55. And also, for the record, Brighton to London and London to Brighton was also $28. Like, I don't know why training in the UK was so expensive. Well, apparently it's because it's privatized, but that's just horrible. Public transit should be public. At this point, we were almost to Harwich, which was where our ferry was.
That's that yellow crop. See the top of it?
Oh, yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
Then the train arrived at our ferry. I will be making a video soon on our experience in the Netherlands/Amsterdam. While there, we got to do more animal rights activism and then explore, obviously.